Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Ideal Experience. My name is Pauline Bujnowski. I am a weight loss coach here in Livingston, New Jersey, which is pretty fitting because I have the coach of all coaches that
Mike Tomlin.
I don't even know how or what to say because you are somebody who is in my heart always, Mr. Manj Singh.
Wow, you're gonna start like that?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
No,
you like, oh my goodness,
No,
you got me
Manj,
stuttering and
listen,
fumbling over words.
I wish I could be, coaching is coaching, right?
Yes.
I wish I was just this much of the coach you are because I could learn from you. You are an amazing, amazing coach. And I know this firsthand because you've been a part of our family since, I don't even know what year. Right?
First grade, right?
It was Nikolai. Jeez, Nikolai was always up a grade.
Always upper grade,
He
but
always up a grade. And ended up with his.
Third grade?
I want to say.
No, maybe fourth.
no.
Fifth?
It was a long time. I gotta say, wow, early 2000s. Wow, that's a long time
It's a
ago.
long time.
He must have been in
even-
second grade because I remember we went to the Verona Eagles weigh-in, and Nikolai got up on the scale, and he wasn't
played
even
at the Eagles
close.
for a little while. He did play
With
Eagles.
the second year, though. So
Yeah.
he must have been in second grade because
So-
his first grade second, and then I think that's when he went to Montclair.
But, we say, so you've coached Nikolai.
Oh yeah.
And people could say that because he's had many coaches.
Right.
But you've had a major impact on Nikolai. So to be able to say that, and I don't know what that feels like, and I know you've had an impact on many, many kids because I've known firsthand, Manj, what kind of coach you are, and I know what kind of person you are. And congratulations on your position of head coach at Glen Ridge.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Glen Ridge is going to
Yeah.
be on the map.
I'm
Glen
hoping.
Ridge is going to be on the
Oh,
map.
100% with Manj, of course.
No doubt, Manj. I'm just happy that everyone gets to see what I have always known about you.
And it's funny, like you bring up Nikolai, coaching him, and it was like from Little League, and then all of a sudden I ended up at Don Bosco, and he ended up at Don Bosco, and
How crazy is that?
it was just that, but he was a year up, but I was there, and then I started taking a helping hand and going inside with Bosco, doing things over there, and then even the spring league when we had back in, there's so many years, so many times with Nikolai and with your family, and I got to say, as football parents, you guys were probably one of the top families that pushed me, let me do what I had to do as a coach, believed in me, understood when I had to be rough and when we'd be tough to get them to become young men, and that's always the goal, and to have support, and that's what it's all about, having support. And I got the person I am was not built without my mom. Being
I
raised,
met your mom.
being raised just with a mom alone, no father figure. I think that's probably one of the reasons of coaching is like my thing. I love it because I feel like the word coach is dad. I feel the word coach is like fathers. I never got to say the word dad or father a day in my life.
Think about that. Think
Yeah.
about that. I never
So-
thought of it that way.
Yeah, so when a kid calls me coach and I feel like that's the word dad, I don't want to be like my father and leave a player. Right now I'm stuck with you. Now I got to build you. Now I got to be there for you. Now I'm going to hover you. Now I'm going to be just like a parent and be all over you. Never anything of malicious ways, of course, be all over them in good ways and bad ways, whether they're doing the right thing, doing the wrong thing. You still got to be there for them. You got to tell them that you care, and I think that's what winning is about, winning them in life. Forget about the field. Forget about X's and O's. It's about making them believe in you and that you're never going to walk away from them during their ups and their downs. And when they stop playing the game, you got to stay with them through life. And that's one thing I've encouraged coaches and done myself is life after football. What is it? What can
What
I
does
do?
that look like? Yeah.
And some of them have no direction. Some of them do. Some want to do the things I did. And I tell them, I laugh about it, but people say no, but I feel like sometimes I'm a walking failure, meaning I failed so much in life, but when I win big. You understand what I'm saying? In other words, I made so many mistakes and so many bad things, but I want them to learn from my experiences and my bad things I went through. So I tell kids all the time, like, I tried this, I did that, I done this, don't do this, don't do that. If you want to try on your own and follow that path, they might follow it and they might be successful trying it, but 9 times out of 10 is something that you shouldn't have done or you shouldn't do, and never like cheating or things like that. What I'm saying is like some life choices. Like, let's just say you hang with certain people in life.
Right.
We all have.
Right.
And they're not doing the right things. And you just want to be there because you want to be a friend or you want to be that person. Those are situations where sometimes I walked away from and sometimes I didn't walk away from.
Learning.
Yeah, you learn. And then when you see your players do it, you try to build them through that. Try to tell them through experiences, through life experiences. The only way anybody's going to learn in life is through experience. And that's why it's like, with your family, like alone. Like I remember Chris used to sit there and watch us coach Nikolai and coach the whole team. And it was, at first, like, is he just watching us to watch us? But meanwhile, he's just reading a book. Your husband's reading a book, and he's just
smoking a cigar,
yeah. Reading a book, and not even really paying us attention. But he just heard the whistles and heard us doing the drills. And after practice, keep encouraging us to give him more. So it's like those things right there. Now, if he told me something different, that's an experience. Like one of those experiences, I got to listen. Hey, what am I doing wrong? What's going on? Talk to me. And that was my early years of coaching. And it's just like, you're building something when you're.
But you've always had that mentality as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
And that's what's wild to me is like, where did that come from?
Well,
I know your mom, but
yeah, okay. So the mentality, I'll be honest. Okay, so Sham, my brother Sham. Sham is the one who got me to coaching. He asked me one day, he's like, "You want to coach football? You love football?" And I said, "Yeah, I like it. I love it." He goes, "But do you want to coach it?" No, I'm done. I don't want to do nothing with it. I finished playing. I don't want to do it. Kept asking me. Come coach this youth program. You'll have fun. Now, I was going through a lot of things in life during that time. Believe it or not, I was going through. I just had my first son. I was going through working, being a man, and just trying to figure things out. And I didn't know nothing about therapy. I was like, I need one way to unwind myself, and football was it. So I got there the first day, and from that on, that was back in 2000 maybe 2000, 2001, around there, and I never looked back. That first year, just coaching off of passion and what we know, and just loving the players and everything, and like they say that the old Bosco saying that coaches love coaches, players love players, and vice versa. It just became that. So we were doing that before I even heard that saying. Like you just feel it, and we ended up winning I think 2 straight championships. And then I started seeing us molding men. These are young kids. These are kids who are in 4th, 5th grade, 6th grade, and we just started molding them and following them. And then it just got contagious. And then it just got non-competitive when you're winning so much at one league. So we went to another league and went to another league. So we jumped around, and we went to the Cobras, and we did 3-peat up at the Cobras. I think one year we're undefeated. It just keep going. And then I went to Bloomfield to try it out. They were winning 2 or 3 games a year. Went there with Sham, and we ended up winning 10, 11 games a season.
See?
Yeah.
Like Glen Ridge has no idea what's about to happen. If I was moving to the area and my boys were young and wanted to play football,
right.
Glen Ridge, everybody, would be the first place I'd look with the U.S. coach. Swear to God.
Yeah, 100%.
Swear to God, 100%.
Do you bring in your own staff now, too?
Well, it was funny. I got hired. I was going to keep the staff because I always believe let everybody stay, and if they want to stay, to fill it out. But everybody left except for one. One stayed. He's been there for a while. I actually know his family. Carl Hauser Jr., know the family and everybody. But I had to hire my own staff.
Which is probably great, too.
It was great. I took Chris Ferrara, who was just recently at St. Joe's, but I grew up with Chris. We played football together from Cobras all the way through.
That's awesome.
So I've known Chris for 30-plus years, and he has that mentality. He's coached with my brother Sham as well, so he's ignited with that. So basically, we're under Sham's coaching tree. Sham was like the godfather for this whole thing for me, and I came out of his coaching tree. So Chris started before us, a year before, but he was part of Sham's thing too. His mentality, the way he comes in, it was just fiery like me. And I was like, okay, I need a guy like this that understands, but also can calm me down. And then I have a coach who's the voice of reason, Rob Rollo. He was an office coordinator over at Immaculate. He's a Glen Ridge native.
Okay.
So when he reached out to me, he's my offensive line coach. So he's very reserved. He's calm, cool, collect, just doing things. So and then my final coach is my brother-in-law who works at the school. He's my quality control coach. So basically, he takes care of the emails. He takes care of uniforms. He takes care of all the things like that. During the game, he's going to be the one telling me we ran this many plays to the right that were correct, this many plays to the left that were correct. This went bad, that went bad, blah, blah, blah. He's going to be the only one in my ear during the game because I have to coach the defense too because we have a small Group 1 school, so it's very small. So you don't have that many coaches like we did back in the Big North. You had a bunch of coaches for every position, for everything.
Sometimes I think
Bosco,
there were more
coaches than players
on the
sometimes.
sideline,
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Absolutely.
But if you could recreate those old Cobra days with that coaching staff to Glen Ridge, because I was a young kid. Well, I was older than Nikolai, but seeing you guys perform and seeing you guys work, like I would love to see my son with that coaching staff.
I'll tell
you guys were just so on point and just so fiery. Just it was awesome.
It was so different for me, but I tell everybody this story, and I'm not even sure which coach it is. It may have even been you. A kid was holding constantly. He kept holding. So the coach showed up with boxing gloves.
That was
me.
That was me.
And like,
I have them in my truck now, just in case of anybody doing a holding.
Yeah, you're not going to hold. And I was like, that is absolutely brilliant. And what coach goes to that level? Next level to teach a kid not to hold. Who does that, Manj? I'm telling you. Wait, I'm going to make the prediction now in case I forget. You're all going to think I'm crazy. 3 to 5 years, Glenridge changes from a lacrosse town to a football town. And I'm putting it down right now.
We'll timestamp that.
I'm timestamp it.
Okay.
I agree.
July 19th.
I mean, do you agree?
Yeah, I listen with him.
With Manj?
Done right, absolutely. Again, going back to Corbus, seeing that team, they're young kids at that age, and you guys treated them like men, and you could see from Kyle to Nikolai, from all those kids, they all went on to big time schools. Not Jaquil. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So that's just a mere.
Yeah.
That Christian Dremel.
Dremel.
I mean, you know what? Those days, I would click my fingers and clack my heels to go back.
Yeah.
I've never been with a staff so great in my life. Johnny Valentine, Sham, Koss, Nick Burney joined on with us. You had Kevin Christmas. Will would come and try to. Will would come and Will Young will always come and try to slow us down because we came on our own moniker. Like we were just. I mean, you had the Pistons that were the bad boys. We were the bad boys because everybody didn't like us already. We knew that. Nobody liked Montclair. So we said, you know what? They don't like us. We don't like them. Let's go out there and just do what we have to do.
Yeah.
Let's go play ball. And, and then you just had so many people, so much support. It's just that coaching group, and Koss let us do what we wanted to do. Koss was the head coach. He let us enjoy. We've ended up becoming, we called this up to you. We were that bad. Like, it was incredible. Like, we went to 4 championships and won 3 straight.
Yeah, crazy.
We don't have rules. We have standards.
Listen, not only that, right? Then after they're done coaching, but you stayed with Nikolai longer, right? I texted Manj about Nikolai's graduation because it was COVID. Yeah. They all shout.
They all come, yeah.
That was the most touching. Even when you got up and spoke, it was just amazing. You're amazing.
That's
how I feel about you.
That's why I always say football, sports is more than just a sport. It's more than just a game.
Well, football. This is why I love football so much. You're gonna win. You're gonna lose. You're gonna cry. You're going to get hurt. You're going to lose a player. You're going to gain a player. You're going to lose a coach. You're going to gain a coach. It changes like life. Every day there's a new change. There's something new. You might not be in your A game today, but yesterday at practice you were firing in for all cylinders with everybody's coaches. You're going like, we're going to win this game by a mile. Next day, something happens in their life that changes. Now you have to adjust on the fly. With life, you have to adjust on the fly. You have to be a finisher. I always say you can start one way, but you have to learn how to be a finisher. As a coach, I want to learn how to be a finisher. And I'm still learning how to be a finisher, how to finish the whole job, get it done. And getting it done doesn't mean that, starts and ends at practice, but you have to go through the game and understand that what if this happens? That's the thing with life, what ifs. Football has a what ifs. It's an oval ball. It can hit. It goes this way. It can go that way. It's never going to roll to you and roll back to you. It's actually going to go
Do you see what I'm saying?
Many areas.
Yeah, but that's true. Chris, during the podcast, can we, and if Manj wouldn't mind sharing, some of your, I don't know if you can do that, the pep talks you would give the kids?
Oh, I don't mind. I mean, honestly.
Can we show them the podcast?
Well, we have videos of it, right?
We can put the link.
Yeah.
There's a video. Yeah, there's a link.
I used to beg Manj to send them to me.
Yeah, there's a link that actually got chopped up by one of my buddies, Jeff McGrath. He's at MC Films. He chopped it up when I was getting interviewed for Montclair, before I got interviewed for here. And he made a video for me. I think it was, it was very touching. And now with my Coach Manj, it's Coach Manj Coach Manj 05. There's clips coming up too with the GR, and there's clips of me talking that have been put up.
And you don't mind if we play
I don't mind at all. I mean, legitimately, I will send you guys the main one.
Send us the main one, and we're going to show that. Because I used to watch them. I lost everything on my phone with my contacts. I would watch those all the time, especially if I was having a day like, I'd put Manj on.
You know what? It's one of my players. See, this is the other thing too. That whole, I'm not going to forget the story. So, with the whole thing with coach being dad and everything like that, a lot of my former players either call me uncle, or they'll call me still coach, or they'll call me pop or dad or whatever. It gets infected. So one of my former players, he calls me pop, calls me up and goes, Pop, right now I'm going through some bad things. You know, his mom's not doing too well in the hospital, in and out. I'm going through surgeries and stuff. And he's talking to me and he's telling me everything that's going on. So I'm with him. I guess at Life After Football. Okay, he's 2 years out already. And he's calling me, talking to me, speaking to me. And then his mother asked me to speak to her and give her a pep talk before surgery.
Wow.
See,
This happened last week.
I get
Holy
that.
crap.
And I'm like, oh my God, like a pep talk before what? Before surgery. So I spoke to her. And she was, as I'm speaking to her, they're putting the needle in, they're doing this, that, and the other. As I'm on the phone, this is going on. You know, not during the actual surgery, the prep for the surgery. I'm on the phone with her. And, you know, I don't know. I don't even, like I said, I guess it's a gift. I don't, you know, I'm one that runs away when people give me compliments or say anything good about me. I don't care for that. Like,
No, I know that.
Like
That's
me
me
as a
squirming in the seat, but I'm going to tell
yeah,
everybody about
and
you.
the thing is, like, me as a coach, is like, you know, the team wins championships. Players win games. My goal is to make sure you finish life. Get to college and finish life. If college is not for you, okay, what do you want to do? Let's figure that out. Let's get you going with something. Then I want to be involved. And I always say, you know, developmental is the best thing of coaching. Like, I don't like having the all-star and the stud. I love having them, but I'd rather have the one that needs to learn and wants to learn and wants to be taught. I was that guy as a player. Wanted to learn, wanted to be taught. I was great at one point, I thought, in my life, until people caught up to my speed and caught up to what I could do. And then I didn't have the love to train as hard. And then I understood, like, you know, if I would have done this and done that and had this and had that, I would have been maybe somewhere else, but I wouldn't be sitting here either. So I'm happy where I'm at in my life. I'm very, very happy. It's always like I always keep telling people, it's the difference between Mike Tyson and Leon Spinks support system. And my support system as a coach is parents like yourself, people like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, being supportive, and that's everything.
But I see, to me, as a mom, you would do great with the kids that think that they're the studs, because you would bring them down
Oh, I always do.
to a level.
Oh, you have
You know,
to.
and because I don't think that you're doing them any service by pumping them up, because they're going to go into the real world and go to a school, and they're not the only number one there.
Right.
And a lot of the times these kids fold
Yeah.
because they can't handle it.
Because they were hitting everything.
Yeah, exactly. So I think you're the perfect coach for kids like that,
Yeah.
because you don't care who they are.
No. I don't care what you did in the past. You know, I don't ask you what you did in the past. I don't care about any of that. So it's like right now, my hands are involved with the Red Dog program, which is the youth program, very heavily involved, because I got to build that to build where I'm going. So I have to build the basement, put a nice foundation, put some walls up, nice flooring to make a finished basement, to build to the next first level, to the second level, and just build. I want to build the biggest estate ever when it comes to Glen Ridge. I want to make this thing into a home that they're going to feel is home all the time, from the basement all the way to the top floor. And it's like, you know, you put me in a position to do something, you hand me something, my goal is to execute. My goal is to finish, not to say, hey, maybe I'll come back on this one, maybe we'll cut on this one, cut. No. There's no sliding on anything. It's going straight head on, taking it on. I mean, I think I took the biggest risk taking this career. I gave up a lot. I changed my whole life. You know, I decided to leave a job I was at for 20 years.
Are you happier leaving the job?
I've never been this happy in my life.
So then you made the right decision.
I have, you know, my wife, she's everything. She's, you know, my rock, pushing me and told me, just do it. Let's go to leap of faith and do it. And it was a leap of faith, and it was something that I've been happy with. Just doing real estate, doing this, you know, it's just the most awesome thing. I think I'm living a dream. And so I know it's not monetary. I don't really care about the monetary reasons, but I'm doing it because I'm there to help. Right. I'm there to build. I'm there to do a job. I'm there to, you know, to hopefully change lives. But my life is also changing at the same time. You know, and I just want to make sure that, you know, I continue. You know, I just want to continue to, you know, to be who I am. I'm not one person that wants to be in the limelight. That's not me. You know, being on the podcast, I don't mind sharing stories. Being in front of a crowd, I don't mind doing that. But to take credit for something, no.
How did this head coach job come about, though? Because it's not easy to get a head coaching job.
Wow.
This. I know it's going to be a long story.
No. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching The Ideal Experience. If you or anyone you know needs to lose weight, I have helped my clients lose over 60,000 pounds in the last 12 years. Give us a call. The office number is 973-486-6928. Enjoy the rest of the episode.
Okay, so the head coach position came along, I want to say November, right after St. Joe's, the playoff game we lost to Bosco. And
actually, I don't want to cut you off, but before we even get into the story, we got to also explain Manj's background, too.
Okay, go ahead.
Bosco,
Yeah, you know what?
St. Joe's, we're jumping here.
We're jumping.
Oh, you want to slow it down? Let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
Let's start from number one, actually.
Okay. So it started with the youth program. Garland Thornton, most people know him as Duran, started me back there with the youth program back in 2000. So we did youth program in Montclair. So when Town League was together. Everybody played inside the town, just stuff like that. We all played against each other.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, I loved it. It used to have, this player from this school because just play this school, but it was all Montclair kids all together. Mm-hmm. So, that was where it started. And then we moved up a little bit. And then we felt like our town was doing really good. You always had the Cobras. We decided to link out and do the Pop Warner. So, of course, Sham, he's like, we're going to do Pop Warner. Let's do it. And I'll never forget it. We did the first Pop Warner before the season started. Sham gets up. You know how he is. We're going to beat everybody. We're going to do this. We're going to put the women and children in bed, go hunt for supper and all this stuff. And I'm looking at him like, oh, boy. And I wasn't at this meeting, and they told us what he did. And everybody in that meeting said, we're going to come after Montclair, the Pop Warner team. We're coming for him. They put us
stir the pot.
Yeah,
I like it.
The first game was against the champions and went to Florida and won the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Rosella Rollway. I'm not even sure. We beat them.
That's awesome.
We beat them. and I was like, wow. After that, we lost every game. Yeah,
every game.
It got bad.
That's
because
sports.
What we realized with Pop Warner, you had kids that were in high school, ninth graders because of their age or whatever, and they were able to play Pop Warner.
And the cutoffs. And
the cutoffs. So it became like we had seventh graders, eighth graders, a couple sixth graders that were big kids and whatever. So we got mauled. But it was a learning experience. Humbling. You got to lose in life.
You have to lose.
You got to lose. You got to get your tail kicked in. Like, we got our butts kicked in, and we sat there and watched kids, a kid broke his wrist, another kid broke his arm, another kid broke his spiritual broke.
Yeah.
You got to rebuild that. So we had, figured this whole thing out, and it was our first trial. We never did this before, Pop Warner. We never, we don't know, you're learning it. It's something different. The rules are different. You're playing against towns we never played against. So that was a hefty experience. So then I took a year off. After that, I said I need to take a year off. It was that bad. And plus, life got really interesting for me. I'll share everything. So life got really busy where I was going through a dark period in my own personal life, and I was just trying to figure life out, trying to figure what to do, in just life, like everything, kids, home, job, getting laid off, I just felt everything was against me, and that was a year I took off. It was a year that everything was just a dark period, and I realized that one thing that could keep me going and keep me, satisfied is football. So I joined the Cobra program. And then when I got to Montclair Cobras, joined there, and, we just went from there. And we just, like I said, it just kicked back into me. This whole system kicked back in. I was able to coach my son while I was there. Now, you guys know I never did daddy ball ever.
No, never.
Never.
None of the coaches there.
No.
No.
My kids could play on the team, but I'll bench them as fast as I'll put the next one in.
Manj, I think that I always said that to parents, too. When you were on Montclair Cobras, if your kid got pulled out of the game, it wasn't like, what were those coaches? You knew the kid did something wrong.
Yep.
Because they were putting the kids in to play and to win, and that's it.
Compete.
So
we'll get into that, too, because I have questions about private and public, so.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we did the Cobras, and we talked about that earlier. And then I, went to Bloomfield, tried that out. While I was at Bloomfield is when I was doing Bloomfield and helping out the freshmen at Don Bosco. And so then I got into the freshmen at Bosco, but I was part of the Bosco family for a long time because my son went there, early Elijah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, 2011, 2012, around there, involved with them since then, and even probably before. I knew Dan Morangi for a very long time. Great man, Dan Morangi. And, so we went through the whole thing, and, I was going both ways. I was going to practice for Bosco, then I was practicing with the Little League at Bloomfield. I was doing both. It was hard.
It's so hard.
But I knew I was going to close the gap and get to where I wanted to get to. So when I finally got to the Big North and was able to be there at Bosco, it was unreal. pinching myself, like, wow, oh my goodness, I made it to the mountaintop. And like I said, I have no ill will against the place. Wherever I coach and wherever I've been, I still respect the places. Love the coaches I coach with. I learned a whole lot. The experience was unreal. Like, we're traveling here, traveling there.
It's crazy, right?
It's unreal. And the people don't understand, if you're not in that if you haven't lived it and seen it, it's unreal on how deep it really is. And
it really
it's
and
so
truly
deep.
is. You have to experience
yeah,
it.
it's a college type experience up there. And then when I went to St. Joe's, it was like a lateral move, and I just fit right in and took over the JV team. I was doing a JV, which we called the first platoon.
Right.
We called the JV the first platoon because there was no playbook, there was no handouts, there was nothing. They basically said, Coach Hoffman, Augie Hoffman was the coach then. He said, "Hey, you go out there, knock it out." Now, as I Coach Moran, he's like, "What do you want me to do?" He goes, "Whatever defense, whatever you can fit, try to fit what we do, and whatever." So we went out there and we had a 8-1 season. 8-1, no game plan. So I called them the first platoon. You hop out the plane, jump on the ground, and just play football.
Yeah.
It was like I had a coach guy, and I don't know none of these guys. I don't know none of them. They don't know me, and we had to build a relationship from when so basically every program I've coached at, everywhere I coach at, the first month, you're not gonna like me because I have rules. I have things I do things the hard way. You got to learn it that way to understand, to get things. Nobody's gonna give you anything in life. I've never received anything for free. I've never received anything because of my looks or received it because of who I know. I had to earn everything I get. So you got to earn this seat. Like, I earned this seat right here with you guys here. And this is incredible to be here.
That's always your seat too, by the way.
Well, I appreciate it. So I look at that and I'm just like, how many parents have given their kids everything? Just give them everything. What did that child learn?
Nothing.
Zero.
I had to talk with my this is my football team this year, but prior to the years earlier. How many players on the team thank their parents for their cell phone bill every month? That's a small thing.
They take it for granted.
They take it for granted because
they take it for granted.
because they say, I'm supposed to have this. No, you're not. If that was the way life was, and you would be winning on everything, and everybody's gonna win. There's no competition, no competing, and no losing. The reason I like football, nobody's going to hand you a position. You have to earn that position. Because if you're not doing your position, you're going to hurt the guy next to you. Mm-hmm. And hurt the person behind you.
Of course.
And that's talking defensively, not even offensively. Offensively, you can get somebody killed. Mm-hmm. It's a violent sport. It's a game of collision. So coming out of St. Joe's and going up from St. Joe's and just going through those ranks was interesting with Don Bosco. And it wasn't really different. There was no difference between the two schools except for maybe the coaches. But then when I was at St. Joe's, basically all Don Bosco coaches were up there already.
Right.
Redoing the same culture that we were doing when we were at Bosco years ago. But, of course, Bosco's Bosco, Joe's is Joe's, Bergen, everybody, everybody versus Bergen. That's how it always is. And, you have your St. Peter's and you have your Paramus Catholic, and this Seton Hall Prep came out of nowhere, shocked St. Joe's that one year. And that was one game that you could lose on any given Friday, any given Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's like life.
Just like life.
You could lose any day.
What's the difference in your viewpoint from the publics and the privates? What are some like the top 5 major differences that you see?
See, I came out of Montclair. Mm-hmm. So when I was in Montclair in the 90s playing ball, and if you can go to the 80s, we used to beat up on private schools. Mm-hmm. We used to take it to them.
It was different, yeah.
It was different. We had dudes. And you had guys that believed and were all in. The difference, I'll be honest with you. The level of competition you could say is different because you're recruiting. You're getting the best kids from this place, the best kids from this place, the best kids from here, and you're putting an all-star team together. But what's happening is you have another team doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Somebody's going to have the most best kids. But some of the kids you're taking play in a lower level of competition in the youth programs. Now you're taking the best kid in a youth program, but that youth program was really a weak division type thing. And they really should have stayed in their small town or stayed here, unless their kid is just extremely dominant. I'm not going to knock the private schools and what they do. Listen, they take the best of the best and they put them in the best position to get to the best colleges and the best places. Yeah. But you have public school kids doing it as well. Mm-hmm. Certain kids shouldn't. I always say, if you want to try it, go for it. But I'll tell you, it's unforgiving sometimes when you get to the private school. For your body, your mind, your soul, everything. If you're not mentally ready for it and you're not tough enough, and then everybody wants to say, hey, my kid's tougher, he's tough. Let me tell you something. I've seen it all. I had 3 kids go through it.
It's like a college program in high school.
It's a college program. Some schools you have to be up at 5 a.m. to get ready to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like Nikolai,
Nikolai and Kyle.
Nikolai and Kyle, they would leave in the morning,
Yeah.
have to be at school by 7:30, 45-minute ride.
Yep.
School, football, home at night.
Yep.
They fall asleep in the driveway.
I'll show Manj's video. It was funny at the time, but Kyle and Nikolai pull up to the driveway. They didn't even get out of the car. Didn't even turn off the car. They're just passed out. And at the time, it was very funny to me. But then you realize and see where they're at today. That's all that hard work that nobody sees.
Yeah.
They only see that hard work on Saturday and Sunday.
Well, listen.
Well, now it's Saturday,
Coach
but
Toll said, and you can attest to it, he said that my kids do not quit any D1 program because they're used to it.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of kids
It's
that
true.
don't go to D1 and they can't handle it.
Right. So it goes down to what I just basically said earlier, coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching style. My coaching style, what I'm bringing to Glen Ridge, is going to be the same style I had up there. The only difference is, I don't have the numbers. I don't have 100 kids on this program or 50, 70 kids on the varsity. The numbers aren't as high to have practices.
you'll have to develop more
You have to
than
develop more.
cherry
but
pick.
That's where I'm down at the youth level. Going to develop them
Grooming.
there, learning how we do things, hands-on. It's you got to be involved.
It's
And
like
then-
Russia over there now in Glen Ridge.
I used to say that when you played at Verona. I used to say that, actually when you even played Eagles.
Yeah.
I'd laugh because, where's the high school coach?
Yeah.
They would
You
would
have
come.
to-
The assistants would come.
Chris, you had 2 kids that were definitely going private.
Mhm.
You want to groom another quarterback for high school?
Yeah.
What do you, I mean,
Yeah.
you have to be involved.
I'm right now, and I'm and there's no knock. There's some kids. I might have a kid that comes out and he's 6'6" or 6'5". He might be running like a deer. He might be the biggest thing since everything. I'm not going to stop him from going to the Big North to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I will
Because he might
not-
come back eventually.
He might come back, or he might just make it. And I'm never going to stop anybody from going.
Can you tell? You see people. Can you tell a kid that you see a kid who dominates a weaker division?
Oh yeah.
Could you tell if they'd
Oh,
be
yeah.
able to make it in the Big Ten?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You could tell. You definitely.
the Big North. I
Yeah, the
should
Big
say.
North. Yeah, you could tell. And we keep. Like I said, in New Jersey, the Big North is one of the best divisions in the
the
whole
country,
nation.
yeah.
In the country, so you could tell who's going to make it, who's not, and you got to become a different type of beast. You got to bring that beast out of yourself. That animal has to come out. It's somewhere buried inside, and it's unforgiving when it comes out. There's no bringing it back.
Right.
And listen, it's not a bad thing. You're bringing the best out of somebody. What you end up seeing is when you bring that out of a player, you see their life change, how to become mature, how to become better, how to become better in life, how to become a better person. I mean, those are things, of course, I'm missing right now and seeing up there and seeing development in the weight room, how much the brotherhood becomes, and just how they believe in each other, they love each other, and you're even though you're from different areas, different backgrounds, different everything. You bled together. You cried together.
Everybody's
you went
the
through
same on that
Your
field.
families come together. Families get together. It's the most unique thing. Now, you come from a small town, and you're trying to keep kids in there. I think it's easier for me to keep kids there than recruit kids into or go.
I agree with that.
Not recruit, but go get kids to come to join another program. Because everybody uses the word recruit. It's not recruiting. Recruiting is college. You don't recruit kids in high school. It's not what it is. It's a kid. The parents have to make the choice at the end of the day. They have to pay the money.
Yeah.
So a situation like Glen Ridge, your taxes are $20,000+. So you're gonna hand to another school that to keep the doors open. Now say your kid is not in measurables. Measurables are everything. So if you're not in the measurables, you can forget about Division I football. The first thing they're gonna look at is your measurables. So if you're under 6'2", forget it. Unless you're a receiver and you're fast and you can just do the extra. Legitly, if you're not 6'2" at certain positions, especially line,
Yeah.
you
Big
can forget
problem.
it.
Yeah.
You can forget it. Running backs, receivers, you could get away with it, but you better be lightning fast running at 40, 4.4, 4.3. You got to be in that area. If you're not in that area, you can forget it. And I mean, some people did squeak by and make it and get there. We had a kid, Peter Shue. He's at Oklahoma now. Everybody talked about his measurables, about this, but he had heart, he had gall, he had it all. He did what he had to do to get there.
Yeah.
Now, does he get on the field? We'll see.
Right.
Only time will tell. But I give him kudos. He wanted it. He went for it. Nikolai, remember he was. They were saying, he doesn't have this and have that, blah blah blah. He's at Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Now it's up to Nikolai to make it happen. But
Yeah.
how does that happen? I mean, the way they practice and prepared you at the Big North for the private
100%.
school, they prepare you differently. So
Yeah.
my thing is right now, at Glen Ridge, I'm preparing them like the Big North. We had a practice the other day, and I legitly looked at those boys in the face and said, I think we could go up there and go play some of these teams, and we could last only a first half right now. But we're going to get better. We can last a full game.
Mm-hmm.
Then when we get better, we can last not just one game, we can last 6 quarters with overtime included and everything. I'm going to build these guys. I have a great team.
Mm-hmm.
GPA, 3.7 across the board.
That's awesome.
I have guys that are 6'4",
You have a Miss
6'5".
Libby?
No, I don't have a Miss Libby.
You got to ask for a Miss Libby.
Got to get a Miss Libby in there.
You got to get a Miss Libby in there.
You know, but
just an hour a day.
But you know what? The school itself is so supportive.
Yeah.
They're like, I haven't had, like, I asked the kid what's the lowest GPA on our program. It's 3.7.
Yeah, God bless. Good.
That's awesome.
So we put up something on the board. I draw something up. We'll go out to the field, reenact it. We're ahead.
That's awesome.
We're ahead schedule.
That's the biggest part too.
Yeah, I mean, their first game, I think we got the odds stacked against us. We got Cedar Grove. You know, they won the Group 1 championship, and that's our first game.
That was my nephew who's quarterback.
That was your
Alfonso,
nephew?
yeah.
Alfonso.
Thank God he's gone.
Yeah.
He's a good
Lefty.
quarterback.
Yeah, really good.
Yep.
Number 2. Yeah, I watched him. You know, him. I coach Patch. I coach Marinelli.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I know these guys. You know, I mean, listen.
Tough team.
Very tough team. You know, are we going to be ready for the test? We'll see. We came out of an Ivy League. Yeah, we went 7-2 last year. The Ivy League was a league that was brought up and made for, I'm not going to say lesser competition, but it was like, it was put something together so they at least have a season.
Right.
Did they compete? Yeah, they competed, but they competed at that level. Now we're building them to compete, getting ready. Like, I mean, like I just had a camp today. You know, I get dirty. My fingers got cut up on there. You know, trying to get involved with the youth program. You know, and I have my captains out there, and they're seeing the guys I brought. So the guys I brought to help out my camp, Dan Hernandez, he was at St. Joe's in Don Bosco, wide receiver. I brought Jalen Wade, he was a defensive back and a captain at St. Joe's. He's going to where's he going? I forgot. It starts with an S. Shipping something. I forgot. Sorry, Jalen. Apologize. I also got Janaz Williams, who was also another guy from St. Joe's. So I'm teaching these guys the youth program how we did it up in the Big North.
And
so I brought the Big North to them.
Yes,
and
that's
my
awesome.
captains are there watching guys from the Big North and how they're practicing what we're doing. So I'm bringing that type of flavor.
You have camp all
No
week this week?
one's doing that either.
You should tell Nikolai to stop by. He's on his way home.
Oh, is he?
He is.
Oh, I'm gonna have Nikolai come by then.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to know.
No, he's on his way home. Yeah.
Well,
Nobody from the Group 1 program's doing that. Bringing
Nobody.
that caliber in.
Listen,
And the kids will see that. And that's going to rub off,
I
too.
can't wait.
Well,
I
the
cannot
thing
wait.
is this, like, you
I'm
know,
pumped.
I'm prepared for whatever you put in front of us. Like, if Cedar Grove is the first game, we're prepared. We're gonna be prepared. We're gonna compete. There's no gonna be rolling over. It's gonna be a game. It's gonna be a Friday night on September 2nd, and I'm telling you right there, all bets are off.
See, the one cool thing, too, about you being a coach is that you're not coming out and saying we're going to beat them. We're going to compete. And that's a way different mentality than saying we're going to go. Because sometimes I feel like coaches are very, what's the word I'm looking for? They're very, like, over the top. Like, we're going to beat them. And you very well know that you're not.
Yeah,
So-
it's like how the kids talk to each other. We're gonna
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Manj. You listen to the Ideal Experience and what an experience is gonna be. Well, you know,
Gotta
9-0, of course, is always in your mind. Undefeated is in
Yeah.
your mind, but being undefeated to me is underrated.
Yeah.
It's overrated rather because you finally get that losses in the playoffs.
Right.
You got to lose in between or
Yeah.
have a tough game and understand that tough game and almost lose, or if you have an undefeated season and understand. Like Bergen Catholic had the undefeated season. Like, I mean, there were so many close games they should have lost, but they knew how to put it together at the end. And that all came down to coaching.
That team was
Coaching.
insane, too.
Yeah.
I say it all the
Coaching.
time. Coaching.
Coaching
I
is
say it
everything.
It
And,
is
you know-
overtime. When you're winning a game, well, look at VT. That's why Fuente's not there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We lost to Syracuse.
Yeah.
After that game,
In the
that
end-
was bad.
At the end, it's like, how do you just consecutively keep losing at the end? That's coaching.
Yeah. You got to get prepared for 4 quarters. Like, conditioning is everything. Condition for the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Getting the guys to believe. The one thing is, like, right now, I have it's very successful so far with parents believing, from the youth program to the varsity. I have the parents believing in what we're doing. They're believing in the culture. It's a culture shock. It's definitely a culture shock. And I don't mean that in people always bring it up all the time. It's not the elephant in the room, but yes, I'm the first minority head coach at Glen Ridge.
Are you?
Football coach, yes. First minority head coach. So this is monumental for some people. For me, it's just me keep going because I never saw color. I don't know what it is. But if it's a color barrier breaking, whatever, then fine, we did it. Okay,
Yeah.
Glen Ridge did it. Fine. Okay, now let's move on. Let's get that out of the way. Let's coach football. Let's play football.
And
that's what it's about.
And you're the most qualified and will probably be the best Glen Ridge coach. Because playing for Verona.
That's not going to be the only first.
Yeah. Playing for Verona
not.
all those years, like Glen Ridge could never click.
Well, we played Verona this year.
Yeah. So now with you part of the equation, I think it's going to be a whole different program. No question about it.
That's definitely the goal. I think the biggest test, and I'm not going to lie, the biggest test is getting the numbers up. This is the first time in over 15 years they had OTAs.
Yeah.
So they always book their vacations. The month of June and July, book their vacations and everything. So my numbers aren't as great as they should be, but the amount of people signed up, it looks pretty good. But they have vacations, they have camps. They already booked them back in February. Mm-hmm. So next year, when OTAs start, they're going to be ready to go, especially as far as we hopefully go this year. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie to you. Is championship on my mind? Absolutely. Is getting a playoffs on my mind? 100%. Is it going to be handed to me? No. I don't want to be handed and get it. I want to earn it.
How's your talent?
Bar none, I'll be honest with you. I think that these guys they remind me of the Bosco teams. They remind me of the St. Joe's guys. I'm telling you, they're tough.
I love it.
They're tough. They're very tough. I couldn't break them in the locker room. I couldn't break them. Like you in other words, they heard me one day lose it. Not in a bad way, but kind of like it's disappointed and everything. Do you know there was 23 players in that locker room when I was kind of like disappointed because I wanted more numbers. I want to see guys come out. Do you know 25, 26 came out and they came with index cards, writing on there their goals, team goals, and apologize. They showed up late, 20 minutes. That was the first no-no. And that's what made me kind of lose it. But they understood it. They bought in. And when I see buy-in, and people are like, you buy in, doesn't mean like, you're selling something. No, they believe. Mm-hmm. And if they believe in what we're doing, and they believe in me, and they believe in, everything, and believe in the staff, we're going to be okay.
Listen, if this isn't the right thing and you don't want me to say this, we can always edit it out.
You say what you want.
But I remember when I was first at Bosco, Coach Toll, I was doing the pregame meals, and they told me that he wanted the napkins a certain way. He wanted them on a certain side of the plate. Mm-hmm. Everything had to be, if there were white tablecloths, it was maroon plates, vice versa.
Yes.
And that's what he wanted. So then that's how we set the table. Then when I took it over, we had a different coach. And they told me I had to meet and find out what he wanted. And when I did, he goes, I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. And I walked out and I said to one of the parents, I don't mean to be negative, but I don't think this is going to be a good season. And she said, why? I said, because he doesn't care about the details.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
I believe they won 2 games.
If you don't care about the details. And not that I would have known that, but I only knew it because, look, Coach Toll was the best coach.
Okay, so
right?
Yeah,
so now I got goosebumps about that.
The guy was the best.
I think the first time I met Coach Toll, I was, basically shaking in my boots because this is a man I respect and a man that I believe is one of the greatest coaches. He is the greatest coach that's ever walked. And I'm talking even with the NFL and everything. He's one of the greatest coaches that walked the turf.
I agree with that.
Walked on the field. He didn't make you believe. He made you understand that you can do it. There was no losing. He's that boxing mad attitude. Like you get punched in the mouth, you get up, you gotta keep fighting, you gotta keep going. And the speeches he had, the most classic speeches. You want to get an Okinawa, get an Okinawa.
Yeah.
They don't practice like us. They don't practice like you. We're tougher. The Marines have landed. Like this the game they remember, Bosco Bergen. Anybody put a uniform at the school you represent.
Right.
They don't like us, we don't like them. Let's go kick their,
Right.
and I recited that. You remember, everybody that saw that remembers that. So if somebody's listening to me right now saying, "Oh, he's trying to be like," so I'm not trying to be like him. You can't be like him. Yeah. There is no other Coach Toll. There's only one, and every coach that came out of his coaching tree, from Morangi, from you name it, Church, you name it, all the guys that came out of that they've been successful. Nunzio, everybody, Drew Lascari, you name them, they're all at Rutgers basically. These guys all came from this coaching tree that Coach Toll had. I mean, I think he's a living legend.
A living legend.
I didn't like the way it ended at Bosco.
I thought it was awful.
It still breaks my heart. I watch that video time to time, and there's no way I'm getting choked up.
And me too. Not Manj. I think what they did was awful.
Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely awful.
And the way, you know, with Danny Morangi, the way they sent him off too, they made him go through the back door.
Yeah.
Like it just wasn't the way it was. When I went in there and was part of the staff on there afterwards and everything, and I felt it wasn't there either, and I just said I'd rather go where the family is, and they were up there, you know, and you know we don't really know the insides of what exactly happened. Some people have their own stories. I have my stories, my beliefs, things I've heard, things that he said, she said. End of the day, you tried to kill a legend who ended up biting you in the behind the following ESPN game the following year, showing up wearing the wrong colors and wearing the other team, and he was over there and they won. Not only to win that game, they won the states.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Manj, whatever happened, you do the right thing. You give the guy a dinner, you send him out, you name something after him. And
you named the whole school after him.
Well, I remember Bosco on the map.
When I first got to Bosco,
North on the map.
When I first got Bosco, it was Don Bosco, Coach Stoll, football, and then there you go. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So when you got to meet Coach Stoll and you had a conversation with him, it was probably the most intriguing conversations. He knew how to motivate a kid. He could be the worst kid on the field, could be the best kid on the field, but he'll end up molding that kid. When I looked
Kids didn't care if they were on the sideline and didn't play in the game. They were by Coach Toll. But you were instrumental in getting Nick. You remember, we saw you at the DePaul game. Nikolai was there because the coach from DePaul wanted him to watch a game.
McKenna.
Like, oh, no, he's meeting Coach Toll. You made a phone call. That he met him after that game on the sideline.
Yep.
And I know Nikolai was nervous, and I was nervous. And he came over, and he was the nicest guy. And he said, son, I'd love to coach you.
I could call Coach Stoll any day of the week it was, and he'll come out. He'll support anything we needed. You know, and as I said, you know, through his coaching tree and everything, the guys I've met through there, the coaches I've met through there, you know, one of his favorite things, you know, he always made sure that the guys in the locker room respected women. You know, they made sure that that's how it started. You had to respect people and respect the women, respect your mother, respect this, respect that, and, you know, teach you a lesson on the field. And people took the long lessons and understood it. To get tough, to be tougher than another guy. My son said the funniest story. He used to come out there and be like, you know, is this guy's father tougher than your father? That's something I still use till this day. Is this guy's father tougher than your father? It makes you kind of get annoyed, like get pissed off, you know. Right. In my situation, you said that to me. I'm like, I didn't know my dad, so you can't get me at that one. Haha, touche. But I understand where you're going with it, you know. Right. He brought more life lessons, and I think, you know, I did, you know, I'm not gonna say steal. I learned as a student.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with trying to strive to be like Coach Toll.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
People also, I say this all the time too, so people probably are sick of me saying this, but when you look at what he's done, he was the first coach to say, my team could go beat your team in another state. He started the traveling.
Yeah. He had Columns.
So think about that, though. Years ago, this is high school. We're not talking about college or the NFL or some pro league that's on the side. So a high school team venturing out to other states to go beat other states up. And they did.
Yeah, but listen. But besides that, forget that.
You know how much confidence you need in your team to do so?
You can say that, but then I was on the board there. I know the money that it takes.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? The first game we were looking at flying everybody, it was like $80,000.
And who paid for that?
Not only that, well.
Didn't Belichick chip in for that?
I don't know.
That was Cobras.
Oh, Cobras.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
The flights for Florida, I had heard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but listen, that fifth downers, we call it the fifth down, wasn't this touchdown club? They were at one time raised $500,000 a year. But he had people that believed in him. He had high donors, and they raised money. But that's no joke to take a whole team.
No.
Well, so I'm going to say it like this. Next year, week 0, I plan on taking my team down to Florida.
Yeah.
To play.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Love
you
it.
should.
We're going to travel somewhere.
You should.
These guys, I'm telling you, we're not going to be able to jump a group because we have the numbers for school, but I can tell you right now, we're gonna be something. We're gonna be talking about this team.
Yeah.
This team this year, people are gonna be talking about this team. My goal is, so when I first walked in there, I asked guys raise their hands, what colleges you want to go to, blah blah blah, and I was naming colleges, and you know they really didn't care about the colleges. And I said, well, your level of play, if you don't care about college, is right here. You want to go play Division I football because I got some big dudes on this team. You got to put your expectations up here. When you put your expectations up here, we're going to put our expectations up here as coaches, and we're going to go somewhere because you're going to put it to another level. If you just want to be mediocre and average and we're just going to play football and we're just going to play football and that's it. You know, we're going to come out and just try to give a good performance, not a great performance. You're not going to compete, but you're competing.
And the kids should know and realize who their head coach is because you can negotiate with a lot of those schools too. Like you know how to approach them, you know how to speak to them. A lot of these Group 1 programs, you have coaches that are teachers somewhere else. They don't really know the whole lingo.
Well, that's why I gave it up. I gave it all up. all I'm doing now is coaching football and doing real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I have an open schedule. I make my own schedule. I do what I got to do to make ends meet. My wife takes care of all the other things, knickknacks, but I'm spending more time with the most thing that's most valuable is time with my family.
Yeah.
My family's all aboard with this football thing. This is all I loved.
Yeah.
So I'm finally doing something I love. So it's like, I know you brought it up before with the interview process.
Yeah, so how did it come along with Glen Ridge?
So
I could go all over the place.
Oh,
yeah. So what it really was, it was like, the first thing happened was I got Montclair. I knew that they were looking for a head coach. And I was looking at
Montclair?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What happened to
I'll tell you about that. Here we go. So Coach Fury stepped away or decided to leave, or I don't know exactly what happened. But all I know, they were looking for a coach to, come in there. And I was like,
big time program, too.
Big time program. Born and raised. Got a lot of support. Said, hey. So the video I'm going to give you is the video that was made for me from some of the supporters. Mm-hmm. We need Manj to come here and bring back the blue, bring it back, put it back on the map. And I was flattered. I was like, we'll see. And then it started. The job came on the board. I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is real. This is serious. So I put my name in the hat. And I think there was maybe 20 plus coaches that put their name in the hat. And I was just like, okay, we'll just see what happens, And my family, of course, supported me and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I'm going to go for it. The week of the interviews, I found out Will Young and everybody was on the board, and they're telling me, they're like, the the week of interviews, they said, we want head coach experience only. And I was like, what? I don't have that. But I made this portfolio, 54 pages. You got to see
and
it.
Now you tell, yeah.
And I'm waiting for my interview. I want my time. Give me opportunity to see. Yeah, can I please?
Yeah, but first of all, head coach position, that you were a JV coach at
Joe's.
That's a head coach position.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
Give me a break.
Exactly. So I had letters from Benji Wimberly, Councilman Wimberly. I had Coach Morangi. You name it. I had letters from everybody. Recommendation letters. I had more David Tyree. You name it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I had recommendation letters. So David Tyree even went and spoke on my behalf and the whole nine and did some things. Yeah. So what happened was I watched a documentary. It was, people call him crazy, call him whatever, but I used it to my advantage. It was Kanye West. I watched his documentary, how he got into the music game. Forget about what he does in his personal life.
Yeah.
How he got in the music game. And
Producer.
So I had my portfolio in my hand. My wife goes, you got 10 portfolios you made. You spent over $300 at FedEx, laminated and everything.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with them? I said, I don't know. She goes, yeah, think about it. What are you going to do with them? Now my wife became the coach. And I'm like, they said they want head coaches only. You're going to pick those up because you're a real estate agent too. You're going to like it's door knocking. Go shove it down to the superintendent, the principal, and the AD. Because now they're going to day 2 of interviews. Day 1 is done. They did the first part of interviews. They're going to day 2. Okay. I do that. 8 in the morning, I'm at the high school giving out my portfolios, doing whatever I got to do. I go home, take off my suit. I looked at my mother, and I'm just like, we'll see what happens. We'll see if it happens. I don't know. I don't think they're going to interview me. They're headstrong with this. And I just said, I'm going to go to the gym and go pray, and that's it. So I go to the gym to go pray, and phone rings, and they said, hey, do you think you can come in today? This is 12 o'clock. You got 6 p.m. for an interview. Absolutely. I get home. I'm about to put on a suit, about to do whatever. My mother goes. The reason I see my mother stays with me now because she's terminally ill right now with this lung thing going on. But we'll get into that. Oh. So she's like, no, take my card. I need to buy you a nice suit. I said, no, I got my own money. No, I want to buy it because I want you to go in there and do whatever. It's okay. So I got a nice little Tommy Hilfiger fitted suit. Went in there. So I go in there. People are going in for 15 minutes at a clip, getting interviewed. First interview is 15 minutes, clip 20 minutes.
You 15 minutes.
Get to know you, whatever. So I'm just sitting in there. Now I'm the last person. But I was in there with 3 prior coaches that were sitting there waiting their turn because they were delayed. I'm sitting there with these guys, and they're talking about being a head coach, about everything. And now I'm getting a little worried. I'm getting a little whatever. So it's about to be my turn. And what I did was I went on YouTube. I found Coach Toll's speech, and I listened to it. The one day on YouTube against Bergen Catholic. Pumped me up, got me going, got my juices going. I said, okay, I'm going there as a coach. I have nothing to lose. Let's go do it. They bring me up there. Everybody got interviewed 15, 20 minutes. Hour and 15 minutes. Yep. I had them in tears. The things I was saying, the things that were coming off, the pride of everything, where it came to the point where, and there was 15 people in this room. Don't ask me why they had 15 people interviewed, but 15 people in the room. Got to the point where at the end of the interview, I said, I'm so sorry. Did you guys have questions for me? They said, you answered them all. Did somebody give you the outline? Nobody gave me nothing. It's pure adrenaline. It kicked in. It's the heart. It's the bleeding. It's doing everything I wanted to do. What I wanted to inflict on you. What I'm going to do. That 52 pages, I told them, go to page 22, you see this. Go to page 30, you see this. Go all this stuff. So they said, okay, you advanced to the second interview. So now it's down to 4 people. The second interview is 4 people. X's and O's. I got on that board. I did what I had to do and talked and did that. Now it's not only 15 people in the room, it's 17 people in the room. 2 more people got included. 1 person couldn't make it. They put somebody else in there. So now to me, I'm like, this is becoming a little bit of a show. This is weird. Like, why are we having so many people to make this decision? But then I understand it's Montclair. It's a big program. I 100% get it. You know, so I'm like, okay, I know I got to be the lead candidate. It was between me, the intern coach. If it was the intern coach, I thought in my head, I said, okay, if they're going to choose him, they would never had this interview process anyway.
Right.
You know, so so he's in there. Then Jermaine Johnson, who's currently the head coach right now, who's a Bloomfield Bengal. So I'm like, you got a Bloomfield Bengal and a Montclair Mountie. That's how I looked at it. I said, Bloomfield Bengal and Montclair Mountie, we're neck and neck. Montclair Mountie's going to win. We got to win this one. This got to be me. It has to be me. Week goes by, no phone call. Week goes by, no phone call. So I finally get a phone call from the superintendent. They want to meet me. I'm excited. I'm thinking this is an interview. On my way there, I get an email that, unfortunately, you're not the candidate. While I'm going to go meet him. Why am I going to meet you?
Why am I going to meet you? Yeah.
So I met him, and it was a 7-minute conversation. He said, I heard a lot about you. Just want to meet you, say hello, blah, blah, blah. But we made another choice. And listen, Jermaine Johnson's a great coach. No knock on Jermaine. Was Jermaine a better candidate? Probably. I'll be honest. Probably was a better candidate. Because of his experience and what he's been and where he has done.
You'll never convince me of that.
I know. But a lot of people say that. But I think Jermaine, he's going to do a great job. I'm a big supporter of what Jermaine's going to do and what he's going to bring. It's still my hometown, still what it is. But, I still in my heart was like, dang, that was what I wanted. So I go home, defeated, head down. And my wife goes, well, I put your resume in for Glen Ridge. I'm like, what? I said, I don't want to do this process again. This is too much. So I'm like, all right, we'll go do this one more time. So I tell my mom, hey, I'm going to go take another interview at Glen Ridge. Here you go. Go get you another suit, please. So I've got a John Varvatos.
There you go.
Charcoal gray with a red tie.
We're getting higher.
We're getting higher. Yeah. So I said, okay, we'll go in there. So I go in there, and it was 2 people. 2 people, the AD and a gentleman named Dave Manzo, who runs the youth program. I'm in there like, this is it. Right now, I love it. It's not 15 people. It's not a dog and pony show. It's just 2 people. It says it can be either 2 or 3 interviews. But if somebody comes out, the top candidate today, that's what we're going to go with.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah. So I went in there and gave them everything I got. And the one thing I gave them, that the difference between the private and the public. You asked that question.
Yep,
You're going to love this part of my portfolio. So I had a list of Division I, Division I AA, Division II, Division III. All the commits, legitly, that's in the newspaper published. I had them all written down on my own Excel spreadsheet. I typed it all out. I had everything color-coded and everything. You had more students going Division I from public, Division I AA from public, Division II public, Division III private. Division III private, it's not a scholarship. You're paying.
Yeah.
Scholarship players came out of publics, not big publics, little publics and everything like that.
Little, yeah.
So, some people could say, oh, well, there's more kids. No. Football teams are less. I got 40 kids on my program, maybe 35 kids on my program total. But I can guarantee I got 4 kids right now that go in Division I football because the way they're going to get taught, the way they're going to play, the way they're going to compete, and the GPA is I don't have to worry about. So that was part of my thing I showed into Montclair, and I showed inside of Glen Ridge. I also had, with Montclair, I broke down film on all the players. I knew the team before I walked in there. Glen Ridge, I didn't really know the team, but I knew what I was getting and was kind of looking at. So when it goes to public and private, it's your choice. And it's also up to your son. Or daughter if you're going to if she's gonna play another sport, whatever it might be. But if it's religious reasons, I get it. I'll never stop you. If it's you want to give it a shot because you feel like your child's that good, never gonna stop you. But if you're going there because you think that you're gonna get the college scholarship and they're gonna hand it, you guys know it. They're gonna hand it to you because you go to the school. If you don't put that work in, it's not gonna happen. Sometimes you got to be being a PWO. Sometimes you got to be a walk-on. Sometimes you got to be a guy that hopefully they call you at the last hour. You're stressing out. You have no college. And you paid all that money. And you're in the office. I paid you, $80,000 for the last, umpteen years, and this is just not what I paid for, blah, blah, blah. So that was one of my things. So with the taxes at Glen Ridge and what you're paying, why would you leave? So I'm asking a lot. I would love the players to come back and now try what you got now.
Yeah.
I'm a different coach. I'm a different beast. And I told them that to their face. I said, what you're getting is something different. And they asked me, are you going to do it the way you coached at Joe's? I don't have the numbers to coach like I coached at Joe's.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do have that, I don't know anybody in my division has it. I have the support from St. Joe's. From the athletic directors to the
That's
head
awesome.
coach to everybody on that staff. You saw me wear a Rare Breed shirt the other day with GR. That's Coach Church's brand. I'm still in contact with St. Joe's. I'm still, part of their whole program, kind of like, in other words, not
That's
part
awesome.
of it like in there, but I'm still affiliated with them. And it's good to have affiliations with a program like that. That can, if I have a mental breakdown as a new head coach, I can go call and go get somebody on the phone and whatever. Because it's going to happen. I need somebody to lean on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know everything about this. This is something new. It's take a risk reward, and the reward is hopefully things go right. If it doesn't, I need to call somebody to be, how do I get out of this situation? Or what do I do in this situation? So it's like, parents are going to tell you one thing and say another, but I have an open door policy. Any parent could come to my open door anytime, come in. Good things, bad things, no matter what it may be. My practice, open. Unless I say it's a closed practice for certain reasons of, we're doing stuff that, we need to be paying attention to and not worry about who's in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But I do film. I'm going to be filming practice. They can watch it that way, too. So, I mean, so with the interview process with Glen Ridge, I was one and done.
That day.
That day, I thought I knew I left with confident. And the biggest phone call was, do you have 60 credits, college credits? What nobody really knows is that during the last couple of years, I've been going for my associate's degree. And it's funny that when they called me that Sunday, that Sunday, I just finished my 60th credit.
Oof.
Holy shit.
I just finished my 60th credit.
Congratulations.
Wow.
So I'm one class away from getting my associate's degree in criminal justice.
Good for you,
I
Manj.
chose criminal justice because I want to teach not only, not teach it, but I want to tell the youth and tell my football players about the law and understanding the law, breaking the law, what can happen. I understand it now.
Right.
And I could teach my kids the same thing. I understand the law. I know what's going on. I studied it really well. I enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
Had an A average in the class, so it was great. But everything worked in its own weird way. And the week they gave me the job is I already put my 2 weeks in for my prior job. And during those 2 weeks, I ended up having 3 listings, and I ended up getting a job at Glen Ridge as head coach. During that whole time, I mean, all praises. I said, the higher power wanted me to do something different. It's the happiest I've ever been in my life.
That's awesome.
I've never been this happy, blessed.
Oh, my God, Manj.
I love this group of guys I
Best.
got. I love this community. As far as the Montclair, there was no ill will. I'm still a heavy supporter. As far as St. Joe's, very heavy supporter. And I wish always Don Bosco the best.
Oh, I know you
and all
do.
the players I've ever coached, But it's like having families like yourself that support me and depend on me at times. And when things went rough and had to build the player on the off season, or he's done with playing football.
How many times did we call you?
Yeah.
Manj was on my speed dial for the longest
Yeah.
time.
And it was weird the other day in the car with my wife, a 7th grade, I don't really talk, I'm not going to get detail, but a 7th grade parent called me up recently from Glen Ridge, wanted me to speak to their kid. I said, not a problem. Come to my office same day, 6 p.m., come to my office, we'll talk. And we talked. And I talked to the kid. I understood everything. And I said, this, and he goes, I can't believe you give up your time. Or, I know you're not a therapist, this or the other. I said, no, coaching, you're a therapist, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're a judge, you're a father, you're an uncle, you're a brother, you're everything. Anything you want me to be, I'm going to be that. But the one thing I'm not going to do is let you down. I'm going to be there for you. My phone's going to go off, and there's times I might not pick up right away, but I'm going to get back to you. I promise you that. And it's having a support system that makes this easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does. It's an emotional thing because when you get this part of life, when you want to, everybody wants to take that leap. I was tired of running after a paycheck and being told what to do and do this and do that and not getting rewarded. And nobody rewarded. You get a paycheck, yes, but I was going for higher positions and you never get it because it's a who you know type situation. And I'm doing everything I can, and you finally get to the point where you get to the breaking point. And you're just like, I just got to do what I love to do and forget about monetary reasons and just do it. And now I'm doing everything I love, from real estate to coaching and just being involved and being with people and just I'm happy.
Not just coaching, you're a head coach now too.
Yes, sir.
You're a head coach.
Yeah.
You're not an assistant. You're not an assistant head. You're a head coach.
It
now.
hasn't hit me yet.
No, I know it hasn't because I know from the first day I met
No,
you
it
that
hasn't
you
hit No, you know it has not hit
It hasn't hit me.
I can
you've
tell
been
you
striving for this for a while too to get
Yeah.
this position of this magnitude, which is awesome. I love seeing guys like you win. I love it. It's
Well,
awesome.
And let me tell you, I really and truly, I mean that. Everyone's going to get to see what we've known forever, and that's the most amazing thing. Because I know what you're going to do for these kids,
It's going to be an experience.
and that's what I'm saying.
It's gonna
Anyone
be-
even thinking of moving, go to Glen Ridge if your kid plays football. You will not regret it.
It's going to be a football town.
It's
Yeah.
going to be a football. I give it 3 years now, even
Yeah.
after talking 3
So
years.
we did something really major with the Red Dog program. It's a Little League program, something really big this year. First time ever. I'm going to make the announcement. Drum roll.
Yeah, let's go.
So first time ever for the program. There is an event that they will be participating in. They will be playing August 27th at MetLife against Cedar Grove youth football. The
Nice.
7th and 8th grade team is going against Cedar Grove. The following week we play Cedar Grove week 1. So I set this whole thing up with people that I
Great
know.
idea.
People I have a great
What a
support
great
system
idea.
that said, "Hey coach, what do you think?" And I pushed and knocked and pushed on it, and we bounced around the whole idea, and I said, "No, we're ready to go." So it wasn't like, let's wait till next year. No, let's go. This is a one-time opportunity. Let's do it. So as a program, this is the very first time, very big. One of the biggest things that we have going on right now in the youth program is that they're going every year. We're going to try to make it a yearly event. 7th and 8th grade, you will be playing at MetLife. And
That's
I tell
awesome.
the players,
How cool is
this
that?
is not your first time, nor your last. The
Mhm.
last time you played at that stadium is going to be playing for the New York Giants, Jets, or with the Cowboys, or any team you
Yeah.
play for, but you will be playing at that stadium. My goal is to make sure that they get to live that dream.
Yeah.
To play at MetLife is just what you play for.
Mm-hmm.
You were lucky to play there,
Yeah.
I was too.
right? Yeah.
I actually was Giant Stadium.
It was Giants.
I
Yeah.
was Giants
the better stadium.
Yeah, yeah.
I like Giant Stadium a lot better than MetLife.
Yeah.
All these new stadiums, we won't even get into that, but I don't like the new stadiums.
Oh, okay.
Not a big fan. The fan base, from going back to like when I was a kid at Giant Stadium, from row 1 to row 50 was all diehard fans, all season ticket holders.
Yeah.
It was one of the loudest stadiums ever. But now it's all corporate, and third down, fourth down doesn't get crazy as it used to.
Right.
But anyway.
We have to get Manj to a VT game. I don't
Oh,
know if we-
absolutely.
no, I don't know if
Oh,
we
well-
can because
well-
he'll be in the season.
Oh yeah, he's in the season. Yeah.
Well, no, we'll figure it out because I want to see Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
No, Manj.
I want to see a
That's-
night game. I want to see a stadium shake. I want to see everything that's going on. I want to know what's happening. I want to know.
Manj, I tell everyone, I walked up to the stadium the first game. I cried from the minute I walked up on the stadium till halftime. I couldn't control I can cry now. I couldn't control myself. To see your kid run out on
Yeah.
on that field, everything he's worked so hard for.
Exactly. That,
You know,
what?
it's
Pauline, you said it best. What they worked for.
they worked
It's not
for
given.
it. No.
You got to earn
no.
and work that.
And that's what I think gets me every time, even watching it on TV. It just gets me because it's, I know how hard he's worked
I'll tell you. So
and continues to work.
it's like we don't have a freshman program. So we're just
You gonna
JV
change
and
that?
varsity. No, well, I'm not going to even
Well,
touch
can
it.
you even? I mean, do you
What
not?
I'm going to do is have these freshmen earn their opportunity to
Yeah,
play
to play
varsity.
yeah,
They'll play varsity.
varsity.
Okay.
Skip JV.
Yeah.
I got some guys. I got some dudes that are legitly, like I want to name one of them captain. He's that good, I think, and I think he's going to be better than he even knows
Mm-hmm.
as a sophomore. I'm not going to put captain as senior only. We have a junior captain right now, Dylan O'Neill. He's been playing quarterback since his freshman year. He's going to be a junior. He's 6'2" and some change. He's got some weight on him. He's going to be a dude. He's going to be a dude.
And he has the qualities to be captain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
agree
yeah.
with you. I don't think
And
just because you're senior.
Yeah, and I like I said, I have the whole philosophy, everything they're doing. It's just gonna be unreal. We're gonna play the game fast.
What kind of offense you gonna run?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you.
No.
You'll find out week 1.
All right.
You'll find out week 1 what we're gonna do. But I'll tell you what, it's gonna be exciting.
I'll see if I can talk to Gogarty and get some old playbooks for you for Cedar Grove.
Listen, you know what? At the end of the day, I know I've always been like that with Cobras, and I've always been Little League. I'm not a film guy, but I became a film guy when I went to Joe's and Bosco. You had to become a film guy, but I always say we'll adjust on the fly. We'll adjust to whatever they put us
Yeah.
against. So right now, I don't know what Cedar Grove is going to come. They had a lot of graduating seniors.
A lot graduated.
So I don't know what they're going to come with, but I know they're competing in a lot of 7-on-7s. We haven't competed in a 7-on-7 yet, but we will. Where? I don't know. When? Not going to say nothing.
You know what? Don't let him. Don't even show him what's coming.
It's gonna. What's
That's
when
how
we
I
hit the-
feel, Manj.
it's
Don't
gonna-
even give him a little bit of a window.
It's going to be like
see.
the first platoon type situation.
Yeah.
Ground, we hit the ground running. We're gonna, boots hit the ground. That's it. We're going to make it happen. The whole thing is just that, believing in the system, believing what we're going to do, believing in it's basically we're family first.
Yeah.
That's what we have to be. We have to be a family first and keep everything inside our locker rooms in our locker room. Whatever's happening and going through in life, we have to be there for each other. We can't leave a man behind. I don't believe in leaving nobody behind, and I never have done that, and I'm distilling that into the players. Like today at the youth camp, I was talking about, our players are captains, and one kid, a couple kids were like, oh, boo. I said, we don't do that. We have to encourage them. You got to be a fan of them, because one day that's going to be you, and there's going to be a camper booing you. Do you want that? No. I said, so you got to respect each other. And that's the whole thing is learning to respect, learning the program, learning what we're doing, believing in it. And it shouldn't matter about, of course, the color of your skin or what you listen to, what you do, what you drive, how much money you have, or, it's about what are you bringing to the table. What are you bringing to the table? It's a potluck.
None of that stuff
It's a potluck.
matters other than what are you bringing to
What
the
do you
table.
bring to the table?
Yeah.
It's like, we went to the birthday party, a graduation party up at your house, and you had a mariachi band.
Yeah, two.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny. I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, it was like one of the funniest things. I was like, this is hilarious.
You know what happened too, right?
No.
So I was talking. So both managers for both bands were both named Jose. So I was texting both of them, not realizing I'm calling two different companies.
One asked for a deposit, one didn't.
So one car pulls up. They all get out. I'm like, all right, guys, we're going to go around the back. So there's a whole surprise. As I'm giving them the whole playbook and the whole rundown, another van pulls up.
Oh, my
So now
goodness.
instead of 5, I got 10 guys in my driveway. And
That's why it was so loud. I'm like, what is going on here?
He's like, can you both play the same music? They're like, yeah. He's like,
they all looked at each other like, yeah, we can do the same music. So they all went in, and that was it.
What'd you just do? You built the team.
Well, yeah, we built a team.
That was coaching.
Exactly.
You just did your first coaching. You put 5 guys, you got 10 guys, you're the 11th guy, you're out there. You just put together a team.
Exactly.
You made it work. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what happened. But now I'm knowing the story. It's even more funnier. But
and what I did was, too, they were dressed kind of the same, but I put everyone in the opposite way. So I one guy was dressed one way, the one guy's dressed another way, and the guys followed. So it was all like coordinated.
That was very funny.
It was hysterical. But
that was very funny.
But it worked, and that's the thing. Life has changes. Like things happen you don't expect. Expect the unexpected.
Exactly.
It's like the other day I was in the locker room and I'm talking to the guys. We're going over film. We're going over stuff, and then I went to that morph into that zone that coach locked into me, and I just started giving a speech. We're not playing outside or doing anything. I just went into it. And I got real into it. And before you know, I look up, and my players in the meeting room are in tears. And then
you have that way about you.
Then I'm realizing I'm in tears. But I didn't realize I was in tears. And it's just like when you believe in something, and you just love something so much, and you're passionate about it. It's like when you gave birth to your sons and your daughter. You just nothing like it. When you got married, it's just nothing like it. It's just like you don't want to fail. You don't want to let go. You don't want to give up. You don't want to quit. It's like when you do anything. It's like you give me something, I'm going to execute. I'm going to finish it. But I don't ever want these guys to leave a room. I want to hold on to them and get a month away at stay away camp. Just all of the team. Yeah. Just go away for a month and stay together, live together, groom together, get it together. Because I know that last day what it feels like, especially being a senior.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's the worst day ever.
It's the worst.
The worst snap. The last snap is the hardest snap. The last game is the worst game for a coach. It's the worst game for a senior player. It's just the worst. It's the worst feeling. And you look back, but how many people talk about their high school football stories versus their college football stories?
Oh, it's always high school.
It's always high school. Everybody. You go. I laugh and talk about Al Bundy. He always talked about his high school football story. Yeah. And it's a real thing. Like high school football is where you build your best memories.
100%.
How many times, like you 100%. Think about, let's think about the years at Bosco, the tailgate. Tailgate alone, it was just like unreal.
The tailgates were unreal.
It was unreal. I didn't believe where I was. I was like, this is we're in North Texas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
You shut when there was a Bosco Bergen, a Bosco Joe's, Bosco anybody, everything shut down.
Shut down.
And it packed up.
Yeah.
And in Bergen versus anybody, it shuts down. But here's my thing. Everybody wants to be part of that experience.
Everybody
I agree.
does.
But if you're a kid from a small town and you're going up there and you want to be part of the experience, you can be part of it. But are you going to get to experience it by getting on the field?
Right.
That's the biggest thing. And I keep trying to explain, like, you can ruin somebody. The practices can be unforgiving. The talent is much different. Some people got to be developed a little later in life and maybe practice a little different. But it's like you got to be careful. The sport is unforgiving.
It is very
It's a violent game.
Yeah.
And mistakes happen. Athletes get better. Some get a lot better. Some are neck and neck. And you can only, like, if a quarterback, you can only put one.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one quarterback on the field. Running backs, you might get 2 or 3, maybe, depending on who's carrying the load. And just because you're a senior doesn't mean a freshman's not going to come and take your spot.
Right.
Or a transfer comes in to take your spot.
Exactly.
So you got to be careful what you do. And that's, so back to the public and private, those are little things that, see, what I did was I couldn't give it all, but you sporadically go into stories and understand, like, just the difference. But when those kids come to private school and they go up to the colleges, they're ready.
They're ready. Absolutely
From the Big North,
ready.
they're more than ready. The running that they do, the playing they do, everything they do, it's totally different.
Yeah. But, Manj, before we left Bosco, I was saying that Bosco should be the college experience. Like, I was saying that they should have...
It was the college experience.
No, but I mean, even more so, like, even in this, for the people, like those trays that people walk up and down.
Yeah.
Give the kids credits.
Yep.
For doing, because they have to do.
You could do that
right,
stuff.
Sell the hot dogs, hamburgers, sausage and peppers. You do that in the stands.
The Italian
right?
mom coming out.
So people don't have to leave the stands there. They, you make money, you generate. So I don't see why the public schools can't be more like the Big North.
Right.
You can bring that feel.
Well, that's the feeling I'm gonna have.
That's the
like
feel.
I want them to get together, and be together and understand each other and put your differences aside, which we all did. You put your differences aside and you just got along with everybody. And you went in there, root for your team, and that supports the players. You want to support the players from within, and support is what comes with the community. Build the community. Build from there and go from there, But the one thing for me is, like, from September to September, I'm watching their grades. Even though 3.7, watch their grades. Watch them get through get to college. Watch them get to the next part of life. Watch them get to the next. I don't want them having they're just good during football season with the grades, and all of a sudden football season's over and I'm nowhere to be found. I have to be
on
year
top
round.
of everything. Yeah,
year round. And
it's got to be year round.
Yeah, and I plan on helping out. The basketball program. The softball, baseball. I'll be around everything. Because I want to be involved with the community and let them know that I care about the program, care about the kids, and care about what's going on at the high school.
And the
football's
fundraising
all
is
year
huge.
round. Yeah.
Fundraising is huge. Yeah, absolutely.
All year. If you need some tips too.
Oh, 100%. You don't think I'm gonna go to the well? Listen. I can't have a future without my past. I need my past to have a future, and I believe in that heavily. And I keep telling everybody that's why at my football camp I brought people from the past.
Yeah.
To come to the future.
Whitehead called you into the office because Whitehead heard how good my mom did and Gwen with the touchdown club. That you got called in for a 2-hour meeting on how did you set this up? What'd you do?
We need the money. How do we raise money? And I told them, but that's a whole different ball
It's like
game.
organized crime with you and Gwen at Bosco.
Oh, two of the
We
best.
went infiltrated.
Two of the best.
We infiltrated, but no, it's true. I mean, and even as far as even getting parents to tailgate and organize the tailgating, you make it an experience. It's got to be an experience for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the public school misses out a little bit.
Oh yeah,
I do. Do you have a mascot? That's my first. You know me and the mascot. Manj, you need a mascot.
we got a mascot.
What is it?
It sounds like he has a story for us.
A zebra.
It's a zebra.
Don't ask me. I have no idea. It's a zebra.
Glenridge zebras?
No, they're the Ridgers.
What's the Ridger?
Make Ridge. So they make Ridgers. I don't know. I say we are GR. We're Glen Ridge. That's I that's what they had. I'm like, okay.
But where does the zebra come in?
I don't know.
Anything you could do about that?
We'll see. Let me win state. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I mean, the Gladiators sounds good. You know, the Hawks, Red Hawks, or something. I mean, Falcons.
No,
you
could do something.
You need something that represents coming out, like from
even
from
the Red
nothing
Dogs.
to-
Like I like the Red Dog thing.
The
like
Red
that.
Dog's
I like
great.
The Red Dog thing was great.
That's nice.
Yeah, how that came apart, I found out is the people that put the league together was over a 12-pack of Red Dog beer.
There you go.
That's simple. All it is listen. Nobody had a good conversation over a salad.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you had a drink, and they had a good idea, and here we go. Boom, we'll go with that.
Can't do the Jack Daniels.
Well, same thing with golf though
That's
too.
one different thing with public school, right?
Yeah.
In golf, I forget the ounces to a whiskey bottle or a scotch bottle, but it's 18 shots. So that's where it stems from. 18 holes. It was 18 shots back in Scotland.
In Verona was the Verona Hillbillies.
With the jug,
It was a hillbilly with a jug and a shotgun. They made them change the mascot.
What is it now? Still hillbillies,
It's
right?
a hillbilly
It's a fishing pole.
with a fishing pole, no more shotgun, and he's holding
A bucket.
like a bucket or something.
Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's so ridiculous. But
Do you think there's gonna be pushback with the Glenridge like principals and staff when it comes to the football team, because they've infused a coach that has seen some crazy empires being built, so he's gonna bring the same kind of structure and energy that I don't know if
This is what they did to me.
they gave you the key.
Drive.
Nice, that's awesome.
There's no pushback.
That's awesome.
No pushback.
love it.
It was so I think great that I met the superintendent after I got hired. Well after I've been hired.
So do you think that
That's awesome.
that sweating and that 17 people in the room at Montclair High, that adrenaline got you to be like, all right, I can handle this interview, and nailed it? I know you would have nailed it no matter what. But see, don't you
I'll be
believe
honest
everything
with you.
happens for a reason?
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, like going into Glen Ridge, I thought, and this is, sometimes you got, listen, I'm a realist. One of the things I thought that was going to be against me was my skin color. I did. I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, I got one smack here. They're not going to look at me. They're going to be like, no, we don't want this guy here. That's what I thought. Best being closed-minded and hearing other people talk to me. And it just was like, that's going to probably be something, whatever. And then I realized, I said, wait a minute. My brother-in-law works at the school. My sister-in-law works at the school. My brother-in-law lives in town. My sister-in-law lives in town. They're Irish. I never saw color. I hope they are just like that,
Monj,
and I'm hoping.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think 8 years ago that would even been said to you, or 10 years ago. I really don't.
Yeah, no,
I
I
think
agree.
this is now in people's head that it's in, and I'm glad that you didn't even listen to that.
No, I went in. I said, you know what? I know I'm going to get this because they're going to love me for who I am
Yeah.
as a person. And let me tell you something. Rob Hill, my athletic director, great. Rob Hill's a great man. And the people in the community are great. The people in the school district are great. I mean, this town is evolved. When people used to look at it, they looked at, oh, this is just a rich town and that's it, blah, blah, blah. No, it's more than that. This is a great town, great place. I mean, I enjoy walking to practice sometimes. I enjoy driving through the town. I enjoy seeing the people.
That's
I wear
awesome.
this gear all the time now. It's not that, I'm ashamed to wear it. I wear it everywhere I go. I'm not even ashamed to wear it. I love it. They welcomed me in. Not because of any other reason, because I'm just the top candidate.
Yeah.
I was the better coach. I won. I earned my position. Nobody gave it to me. It was earned, and I earned it during that interview, and I showed and improved, and I've continued to climb mountains, and I'm gonna continue to climb. People can ask me, hey, how long you gonna be there for? I got 20 years. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
Stay 20 years.
And the players, the kids will see your drive and your work ethic, because there's also no coach that talks about like their real estate background or like their work background. And showing the kids that you're winning is going to show them much, much more in the future, I think, too.
Yeah. Well.
Now look at what he gave up. Look what you gave up to be a coach. That says everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right there. Mic dropped.
Yeah.
Who's willing to do that? Not many.
No.
Not many, Manj.
No.
That's a coach.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it takes every good coach has to have if they're if they're married, has to have a great spouse.
Yes.
Every great spouse, it could be husband or wife, has to have, you have to coexist with each other and have to support each other to push it. And I'm blessed to have her. Blessed to have my wife. She's she was okay with everything. She said, I want you to do this. I need you to do this. You've been giving yourself to everybody your whole life. You haven't given yourself anything. So it's time to give yourself something that you can look back at, you can smile, you can be happy with, you can enjoy. No regrets, no remorse. I'm living my best life.
I love it.
That's awesome.
And I'm very happy. And I'm going into, this season very open-minded, but also closed-minded that we're not going to be as bad. We're not going to be awful. Closed-minded meaning that we're going to be good. I'm closing my mind to anything that people say that we're not going to be.
Burn all ships.
Everything.
Yeah.
And let me tell you when we're not. with Nikolai this season. We'll be in Glen Ridge watching you.
Oh, I definitely.
Oh, 100%.
And then we got Verona on a Friday night too. So hopefully, Nikolai's not playing. You can be up there for that game too.
I'll be wearing red that day. Sorry, Verona.
I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'll make sure everybody has everything they need.
Oh yeah, no. We're definitely supporting you because you've supported my family. I can't thank you enough. I don't know why I don't see you more often. I know we're busy.
He's busy.
But you're just a special person to me. You know that.
The greatest thing I always say is that family never ask where we've been. They just know when we get together, we pick up where we left off.
We've always done
and we
that.
continue to go. And it's never asked, where we went wrong. You just keep going. And this is why I know this is family. That's why when, I actually, this time I asked, I said, listen, I would love to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
And for you guys to say, yeah, absolutely, come on. It's a blessing. It's something I don't mind sharing my story here, even though people are going to see it. And, it's not about, getting likes on Instagram or Twitter or anything like that. It's about just sharing a story. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to help somebody with this story.
You're going to inspire somebody.
Yeah, and there's times, like I said, I was on death's door a few times for myself, and there's times in life where your life is hitting you a ton of bricks, and you just got to wake up, get up, and understand that somebody loves you, somebody cares about you. Just people depend on you. So when it comes to this football thing, people depend on me to do the job and get the job done right.
And that's what makes you wake up.
That's what makes you wake up.
Yeah.
You got to keep on keeping on.
That's it.
It's true. Well, Manj, I can't thank you enough for coming on. We wish you all the best. You know that.
I appreciate it.
You know that.
I appreciate it.
You'll do it again? Will you come on again?
Listen.
After the season.
No. We'll come on during the season.
During the season.
Let's get a mid-season thing.
Absolutely.
We'll do a mid-season.
We'll do a check-in. Yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
do a check-in mid-season. We'll get you some highlights and things like that. And
how about this? We'll take the podcast to you too. We'll do it at the school.
We could do it right in my locker room.
That'd be awesome.
Coach room. We could set something up in there.
That'd be awesome.
Manj, if I don't ask you this, I'd be remiss. Do you like the screenplay, the lateral?
Oh my God!
I want you to watch. Mike Adams.
Okay.
Mike, you know Mike Adams.
Yes.
He came on the podcast. He explained it to me in a way that nobody's ever explained it to me. So I was happy. I hate that play, and everyone's heard me on the podcast say, when it's just the quarterback throws it lateral.
Yeah.
Just take a knee so nobody gets hurt.
Right.
Defense is way too quick. When they run that play, 9 out of 10 times it doesn't work.
Well, it depends who's coaching it.
Yeah.
All right.
And who's turning it up. Like, if you're telling your lineman, hey, there's going to be guys screaming coming this way, all you do is turn around and give it to them.
All right.
You get to knock the snot bubbles out of some people.
Well, listen, if it doesn't work, you can hear me in the stands.
Oh, okay. Well, listen, and I'm looking at my offensive coordinator, Chris. I'm like, hey, Chris, this is you. It's on you.
You got some crazy lady in the stands.
Yeah.
Or running on the short side of the field gets me crazy, too. I don't know enough about football, but that's two things that make
no,
nuts.
you're good. You're good. You're a football mom.
Nuts.
Well, this was awesome, Manj. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was excellent.
Well, I hope I answered most of the questions, but I know there's part 2 is going to be more deeper.
Yeah, no, definitely.
We have a lot.
We got a lot to cover.
I think we didn't even really scratch the surface. I think this was a scrimmage.
Oh, yeah,
we didn't get to the game yet.
This was a 7-on-7.
7-on-7. We didn't even get to the game yet because you know where I can unload at, and I didn't get to unload. Now I feel comfortable coming in here. Of course your family, but if, whoever is listening and talking, I'm gonna unleash.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, we're also gonna do a question. Your next podcast. Anyone who wants to ask questions, we'll get those in advance.
Now the viewers know you, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks,
it was a warm
Manj.
transfer.
All right, thank you.
You're the best.
Appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Manj.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Love you more.